Hey, we all want all the Lions to get their players back, but there is a dose of reality involved.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? We got a Wednesday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day right here on Locked On Lions. If you subscribe on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, if you're checking us out on Spotify or Amazon Music or Apple Podcasts, thank you very much. Thank you to our everydayers as well. You know who you are that are out there watching and listening every day. One of our everydayers, Bill, checks in today. He will be our call of the day, which we will play at the end of the podcast. If you want to be our call of the day, check out our SpeakPipe voicemail system where you leave a voicemail at SpeakPipe, PIPE.com/Derry podcast page. Tomorrow, Lauren Cox will join us from Locked On Bears. Touchdown Bears. We'll talk to a Lauren Cox tomorrow and find out if Chicago can break an 8-game losing streak. Remember, the Bears were 4-2, and everyone's like, oh, Caleb, oh, the Bears, woo. Every team in the North has a winning record. They've lost 8 in a row, including, of course, at the hands of the Lions on Thanksgiving Day down at the corner of Brush and Adams. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by our friends at, who's our sponsor today? Oh, I'm sorry. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks, all right? Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use the code all lowercase LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Lions and Bears from Soldier Field this weekend. Detroit looking to get back on track. Dan Campbell spoke earlier today. I want to start with a reality check here. I want to get into a matchup that I think the Lions can really pounce on this weekend on Sunday to get a win. Because the bottom line is right now, let's just focus on the Bears game. And everybody's talking about 1 seeds and bye weeks and time off. And what about this? And what about that? Let's just see the Lions win in Chicago this week. And they can, and they will. Lions are beating the Bears. I said this yesterday. The Bears stink. We have a call of the day. I also want to talk about Ben Johnson, who will be on everybody's eyeballs will be focused on him this weekend as well for many reasons. But first, I just want to do a quick dose of reality. First and foremost, okay, if Mike Valeni on 97.1 says, if Jeremy and Eric and the POD guys at Pride of Detroit say it on their podcast, there are so many different shows. There are so many different podcasts. There's a lot of talk. All right. There are national people that talk that you guys watch, whether it's Bill Belichick on the Pat McAfee show, whether it's the Jim Rome show. I don't know why I just thought of Jim Rome. Colin Cowherd. If anybody talks and has an opinion about the Lions, and if they say, well, you know what? It's going to be tough to overcome all these injuries. I don't know if I think they're going to make the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean they're a hater. I love the Lions. I've turned into a Lions fan. I want the Lions to win. All right. Nobody wants them to win more than me. Trust me. The Lions have been winning. Podcast is doing great. And I'm happy for the fans. Happy for the fans. I'm sporting my Lions t-shirt today, given me by the great Scotty Questions at Questionable Tees, Teez. Check out their stuff. Like, just because if I say I'm concerned, all right, about the Lions' injuries, especially on defense, and I'm not so sure they can make a run, that doesn't just make me a hater. And I'm about to talk about reality for a second, and I don't want you to watch this or listen to this and go, oh, Derry's throwing in the towel, because I'm not. I'm not scared of the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's really good. And Kevin O'Connell might just win Coach of the Year. He's doing great. He's got arguably the best defensive coordinator in the game with him. All right, they're playing well. But am I sitting there going, oh, the Lions, there's no way they can beat the Vikings in week 18? That's not what I'm saying. Philadelphia is on a roll. What have they won? 9 in a row, 8 in a row, something like that. They're great. Playing really good football, 11-2. Good for the Eagles, or 12-2, whatever they are. Am I scared of the Eagles? Am I going, oh man, the Lions cannot stop Jalen Hurts? Oh no, Saquon is too good. He's going to run. No, I'm not. They have a good team. Jalen Carter is scary good on that D line. But if the Lions played the Eagles, could they beat them? Absolutely, they could. Right? But I'm here to I need a little bit of a reality break here. Dan Campbell said today that David Montgomery is getting a third opinion on his MCL injury, his medial collateral ligament in his knee. He's getting a third opinion. And David Montgomery said it at an event last night in the city that he's hoping to come back this year. And he hasn't ruled it out. And the reason they haven't put him on the injured list is because he's getting 3 opinions on his knee. And if they put him on IR, he has to miss 4 games, and he doesn't want to miss 4 games. And he thinks maybe he could come back. After Dan Campbell the other day said it's likely he's lost for the year. Campbell said today that he's getting a third opinion on the knee. Whether the opinion is different than the second opinion or than the first opinion, reality. David Montgomery is not going to be the same player in the playoffs when he comes back than he was before. It's just reality. Oh, Gary's a hater. Whatever. I'm not paying attention to it. I love all of you. Slow down. Slow down. All right. I haven't been here, and neither of you. I've never followed a team that was 12-2. I grew up on the Cleveland Browns in the 80s. We had some good teams, maybe 13-3. I don't remember the records offhand. I remember the 8-8 team in 85. There were really good teams. I've been to AFC Championship games. I sat in the stadium in 1987 and watched John Elway trudge 98 yards down the field. I was there. All right. But this is brand new to me, being in Detroit, seeing something like this, where this team is this good and so good, Super Bowl favorites, and then, wiped out by injuries like this. We're all new to this. I'm giving fans a pass, but I'm just saying I'm not a hater. I'm just saying David Montgomery's not going to be the same player. He's not. It's hard to come back from a medial collateral ligament injury. Hoping he is, sure. Can he come back? Yes, maybe. We'll see. But that's a massive injury. Aidan Hutchinson going on Taylor Lautner's podcast. I didn't know Taylor Lautner had a podcast, nor did I know that he was married to a woman named Taylor. Taylor and Taylor. Fantastic. Name that Taylor. Taylor Decker, Taylor Swift, John Taylor. I could keep going. It's an old Stoney and Wojo bit. Name that. Hutch is on Taylor Lautner's podcast saying, oh, I'll be back for the Super Bowl. I can't be stopped. I'm working at it. I'm rehabbing. I told the guys, just get there and I'll be there. It's destiny. I'll be there. Maybe. He broke his tibia and fibula. His leg snapped in half. Dude, I love Aidan Hutchinson. Man, he is dying to be out there. He is working his ass off to get back. He told his teammates, I'm rehabbing hard. Super Bowl, get there, I'll be there. Let's say he does. Let's say the Lions do and he's out there. He's not going to be the same player. I have friends going, did you hear what Hutch said? He'll be back for the Super Bowl. That's not going to be the same Aidan Hutchinson. And the Lions team doctors have to clear him to play in said Super Bowl and make sure he's okay so that he doesn't go out there and damage it any further. Again, reality. Reality. Aleem McNeil is not going to start next season on time. That's reality. I would love nothing more than to see Aidan Hutchinson in the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. He is a Lion through and through. From here, went to Michigan, Divine Child to Ann Arbor to freaking Allen Park. But my buddy's text, oh, Hutch said he's going to be back for the Super Bowl. Oh, okay. I guess it's just going to be the same Aidan Hutchinson it was in October. No, it's not. It takes time. Is the hope he's back? Yes. Let's say he plays in that game. Awesome. All right. The 50% of Aidan Hutchinson is probably better than 100% of Al-Qadim Muhammad. No offense to the kid. But we've got to have a little bit of reality here that these players aren't just going to snap their fingers and be 100%. It's going to take time. I watched Aidan Hutchinson walk into Ford Field the other day. He can barely walk. It's going to take time. So when we see these headlines of Hutch says he's playing in Super Bowl, don't get your hopes up. Let's think about realistic. And if he's out there, he's probably going to be on a snap count. Got to take that all into consideration. And you know what? This Lions coaching staff is damn good. They're going to put some of these guys in position to do the best they can. And with this schedule down the stretch, they got to beat the Bears, and they can. San Fran in a couple of weeks with an extra day of rest and prep because it's on Monday Night Football. Give me the Niners. The Niners are just as injured as the Lions. Well, not just as on defense, but you know what I mean. And then week 18 against the Vikings at home with this crowd, you never know. You never know. Sam Darnold's having a great year. That ain't Sammy Baugh. That ain't Dan Fouts, Johnny Unitas, Sam Darnold. And then if you still have the 1 seed, who knows? Let's play this out. I'm not closing the door on anything. I think it's going to be hard. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'm going to take a breath here. Let's do some advertisements. When we come back, the Bears' run defense is atrocious. Good news. Good news if you're a Lions fan. I will explain coming up next. And Locked On Lions today is brought to you by College Football Playoff on TNT. That's right. College Football Playoffs are back. Newly expanded 12-team format. It's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting action and high-flying excitement that you love. TNT sports coverage of the CFP starts this Saturday, December 21st, with a College Football Playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T at 11 a.m. Eastern, leading into our first matchup, the Southern Methodist University Mustangs. That's right, SMU taking on James Franklin. Big game, James Franklin. Penn State's Nittany Lions at noon. Paul Gerstner's PSU Nittany Lions. Then the Clemson Tigers look to upset Texas in a showdown at 4 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch College Football Playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. And while you're watching these games this weekend, college football, you want to bet on said games, you can at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's right. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com. Join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, back on Locked On Lions, a Wednesday edition. Tomorrow, the crossover with Locked On Bears host Lauren Cox. Love Lauren Cox. Great guy. Very realistic about his Bears. And we'll talk to Lauren coming up tomorrow on the program. One other thing I wanted to mention, and I don't remember what it was. No transactions have taken place yet. We mentioned yesterday about Ambry Thomas. Could he be somebody that the Lions look at because the Niners are going to be waiving him? Xavier Howard, longtime cornerback of the Miami Dolphins, has been working out for teams, but no one has signed him yet. And the same goes for Jerry Jacobs. The ex-Lion has not been signed yet either. Scotty Montgomery, Lions running backs coach, did mention today a name to keep an eye on is Jamar Jefferson, who is the running back that is currently on the Lions practice squad, but team hasn't made a move yet on David Montgomery and whether or not to put him on IR yet. So stay tuned on all of that. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to talk to Lauren Cox from Locked On Bears. And one thing, and he and I were texting the other day, and the one thing that Lauren pointed out that he already is concerned about, and you'll hear about tomorrow on the show. By the way, Trey Wingo was great yesterday. Go back and watch or listen if you missed Trey from yesterday, courtesy of DraftKings. While the Lions defense, all right, is banged up, they are still 7th in the league in points allowed and 14th in the league in total defense. And against the run, the Lions are 6th in the league. But again, Lee McNeil now out for the year. That's rough. The Chicago Bears against the run are giving up 133 yards per game to the opponents. That is 26th in the league. If you watch the game this past Sunday or Monday night when the Bears took on the Vikings, Aaron Jones, ex of the Packers, was basically doing whatever he wanted in that ground game. Bears are without the big man Billings. Their nose tackle's on IR. Jervon Dexter's been injured. He didn't play on Monday night. And the backup defensive tackles for the Bears are not good. So while we sit here and go, oh man, all these injuries, and we've talked so much about injuries, and we should, right? Reality is reality. Like I said before, about 16 guys on IR. Now you're hoping to get Melifonwu back. You're hoping to get Rakestraw back. You're hoping to get Anzalone back. Maybe Derek Barnes. All these things later on. John Kaminsky today, according to Dan Campbell, doesn't sound like it looks good for him. Okay. But the reality is the Lions can run the ball. The Chicago Bears run defense, which for the past few years has been better, has not been good this year. When you're 26th against the run and you cannot stop the run, that means your offense is not on the field. That means the other team is wearing you down. And this is why I have optimism about the Lions' chances. It's because still, and I've said this earlier in the week, and I'll repeat myself, the best unit on this club is the offensive line. Lions have a great quarterback. Lions have really good receivers. Lions have awesome running backs. Lions have maybe the best safety tandem in the league. When healthy, the Lions D-line wasn't bad with Hutchinson and McNeil and Onwuzurike and Reeder and all these guys. It's a Darius Smith. But the Lions' strength is still left to right. Decker, Glasgow, Ragnow, Zeitler, Penei Sewell. And this Sunday, the Lions need to get back to that ground game, utilize Jahmyr Gibbs out of the chute, sprinkle in a little Craig. Come on, Craig. Sprinkle in Craig Reynolds. If Jamar Jefferson is out there, great. Sione Vaki, let's see some Vaki town. Why not? Maybe he's a weapon this week. That's exciting. And if the other team can't stop you and you outscore them, as Dan Campbell said yesterday on the cricket, by one, that's all that matters. As long as you have one more point than the other team, when the clock hits 0, we're good. At least for this week. I'm focusing on this week. Last year in Chicago, it was a bleep show. All right. Not a good performance. Lions were bad at Soldier Field last year. The Bears have lost 8 in a row and cannot stop the run. Their linebackers are overpaid and overrated. And the Lions offensive line should be able to move some bodies, especially if Dexter doesn't play. One of their draft picks from this year. They're without Dexter and Billings. Look out. Not a lot of depth there for Chef Poles and that Bears front office. Speaking of Bears front office, what if Kevin Warren, and I don't think he's going to do it, but a lot of people in Chicago are talking about maybe Poles needs to go, the general manager, Ryan Poles, the man that, by the way, did say when he took the job, we're going to own the North and never give it back. Good one, Ryan. That's funny. You're funny. You're a funny guy. But what if Kevin Warren decides to step in and put his own general manager and coach in place? There's talking in people do their homework in Chicago and they've said it. What about a package deal? Go get somebody from the Lions. Go get Ben Johnson and Ray Agnew, or Ben Johnson and somebody else. All right. Lions front office has been poached before, right? Keep an eye on that. You know, the Bears would love nothing more than to stunt the growth of the Lions and poach from Detroit. So it might not just be Ben Johnson in Chicago. And I'm not sold on Ben Johnson going, that's my number one destination. The Bears. They never win anything. Take out 9. And I know this is coming from a guy that does a Lions show. Lions haven't exactly lit the world on fire either. Got to go back to 1957. But with the Bears, you got to go back to 1985 and one very good Lovie Smith season where somehow he got Rex Grossman and the Bears into the Super Bowl, only to lose down in Miami to the Colts. Forgot the year, but somebody will look it up. So Ben Johnson would be interesting to see this weekend, kind of a Ben Johnson showcase game this Sunday when the Lions take on the Bears, because people will be talking about it in Chicago. Call of the day coming up next here on a Wednesday, Locked On Lions. New sponsor here on the program, our friends at Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That's definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals that you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. All right. Great features. They got the subscription tracker. They got so much more. There's a goals feature on there. Check it all out. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. And hey, we told you earlier about our friends at PrizePicks. If you love watching all the games, you're going to love PrizePicks. Daily fantasy that's made easy and fun, and it's exciting. Whether it's football, basketball, or any of your favorite sports, PrizePicks makes your holidays bigger and brighter. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks. Plus, this holiday season, they're giving away over $30 million in rewards during Picksmas and offering 2 free picks in December. When your picks hit, PrizePicks makes it easy to cash out. You can get your money in as fast as 15 minutes. All right. Here's all you got to do. Player stat projections. That's what PrizePicks is. More than or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections. This week, what about Jared Goff? I'm looking for more than 230 yards passing. I know what people are going to say. It's cold. It's outside. Goff can. Yes, he can. Remember Green Bay this year in the rain? Jared Goff looked pretty good. Looked better than Jordan Love. What about Saquon? More than 1 touchdown. You can bet on that. It's quick, simple, and so much fun. Challenge yourself and your friends. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 instantly when you play just $5. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, we got a call of the day. If you want to be our call of the day, just go to our SpeakPipe voicemail system at speakpipe.com/Dery, DERY, podcast page. Ladies and gentlemen, our call of the day, here is Bill.
Matt, it's Bill, longtime listener, everydayer. Do have everybody in our fantasy league listening to you now as well. So you've picked up some new listeners there as well. Just wanted to compliment you on the amazing reference to the Cleveland Browns' excellent backfield of the late 80s. Unbelievable reference. I hope others get it as well. Keep up the great work. And boy, the Lions just need some healthy bodies. Take care and go Lions forward down the field.
Yes, thank you. Our friend Bill Patterson. Forward down the field is right. Shout out to Theo Gridiron. Hardest working man in show business. Yes, the other day I referenced Mack and Biner on the podcast. I've lived here since 1996. I consider myself a Detroiter. I'm not a Browns fan. I still do some radio in Cleveland and other things, so I get all that. But like Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack were an unbelievable duo. All right. Probably, I thought, the best I ever saw. They both were 1,000-yard runners in, I believe, 85 and 86. Those guys were great. I do think that Gibbs and Montgomery are better. I do. and Mack and Biner were amazing. Ernest Biner out of the backfield could really catch the football. Doesn't have the speed that Jahmyr Gibbs has. And of course, Biner is best known, unfortunately, for his fumble in the 1987 AFC Championship game. But yeah, I made a reference to Mack and Biner. It's always great to kind of go back into the past. I love running into Lions fans that tell me, I've been a fan since Gary Danielson. I've been a fan since Greg Landry, Ken Fantetti, Bubba Baker days. I got to give Al a call. Al Bubba Baker is an old friend. I've not talked to Al in ages. He watches all the Lions games. I believe still lives in Ohio. But man, it is great to go back and reminisce about, the days of the Lions that we knew of. And that's why right now it's unbelievable. The fandom, the fan base, and everybody that's back. I'm not saying everybody's just jumping back on the bandwagon, but I'm saying everybody's into it. And we don't know how to react. We don't. And the Lions went from soaring so high to the darlings of the league to 12-1, and everybody's talking about them, and they're going to the Super Bowl. This is the team. I guess I referenced Mike before, Valenti. Like Mike Valenti was saying they're winning the Super Bowl. Many people feel Mike's the most negative guy in town. And then now it's like, nope, they can't do it. They're way too hurt. It's going to be hard. That's what I'm saying. Very difficult. And you got national people now just glowing over Philadelphia, or man, Minnesota is so good, or look out for Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. I'm telling you, if the Lions play the Bucks in the playoffs, please bring it on. I'll take Dan Campbell over Todd Bowles all day. But this is the ups and downs of the season. But no one has ever seen anything like this. Justin Rogers wrote a great story on DetroitFootball.net. Please subscribe and check out Justin's stuff about just doing the history of teams that have lost 16, 17 defensive players in one season. It's mind-boggling. So frustrating. I blame it all on Kyle Meinke for leaving for Berlin. All right, tomorrow, Lauren Cox, Locked on Bears, will join us. Thanks for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Everydayers, appreciate all of you that hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or Blue Sky or LinkedIn or Threads. I'm everywhere. Talk to you again tomorrow.